day ever.
Heck, me too. What are the chances? Love to hear it. All right. I think we can go ahead and get this party started. If anyone's attending for the first time, this is our weekly Ask Anything lunch where you can ask anyone any question and anyone can respond. You can ask questions publicly, or if you prefer to ask a question anonymously, there is a form at the top of the ShapeShift stage chat. I'm going to check that right now to see if anyone submitted any anonymous questions. While I check that, would anyone like to get us started with a public question?
What do you think about that Giveth proposal, Willie?
Hey, thanks for asking, Ron. I'm obviously a huge fan of that Giveth proposal. I'm a big fan of Giveth. I'm very bullish on Giveth's tokenomics and vision in the community, most of all. So yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. I think also we need to get some more liquidity for Fox on Gnosis chain. So I like that they're structuring this in the same way that we did the token swap with OneHive, where we swapped some Fox for Honey. In this case, we swapped some Fox for Give, and then we deposit some that Give plus some more Fox into a liquidity pool on Gnosis chain. Basically, we can get like $1 million of liquidity that doesn't really cost us anything, right? We still own that liquidity. It's not rented where we have to spend money on liquidity mining. It's owned, generates revenue. And yeah, Giveth is an awesome project, and I think it's good this is a great way for us to support Giveth, support positive impact, but also not just altruistically, but in a way that is a win-win, and it benefits ShapeShiftDAO as well. What do you think of the proposal, Ron?
I think that the initial amount might have been a little low.
Agreed. If we're going to do this, let's make it worth our time.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Thanks for asking that. Any other thoughts on this Fox Give token swap proposal? I'll post the link if anyone wants to check it out. Cool. Well, that reminds me that we are having a community call with Giveth on Friday as well, which will be our first community call with this awesome community. So yeah, if you do have any questions or if you just want to get to know the Giveth community, learn more about Give and Give tokenomics, that is a call for you. It's going to be Friday at 12:30 Mountain Time. Cool. And thanks for getting the ball rolling with that question. I've checked the anonymous form and there are no anonymous questions submitted. So
I have one for you. Is that about the regen section part yet, or that later?
That is going to be launching as soon as tomorrow. Working with Mr. Nerdhair and the Give team right now to get the contracts deployed and funded. And then it'll launch with a 48-hour countdown before rewards actually start. So yeah, Giant Kim's talking about the Fox Honey farm, which we already have some Fox earmarked for that. That was left over after we did the token swap with OneHive. And it was earmarked for liquidity mining, and Giveth has built some awesome contracts in UI. And the really cool thing about it is the stream. So we're going to be rewarding about 350,000 Fox over 6 months to Fox Honey liquidity providers. But the majority of those rewards stream over 5 years. So 10% is claimable immediately, and then over the 5 years, more it increases linearly to 100%. It's a pretty cool concept, and yeah, if anyone's looking to do some Fox liquidity mining on XDAI, Gnosis chain, stay tuned. That should be available Saturday if everything goes as planned. The rewards will should be open for deposits starting tomorrow.
Ready.
All right. Great question, GK. Anyone else have any questions they'd like to ask the group?
Hey, no questions, Willie, but I just 30 seconds ago posted in the announcements channel how you can sign up for this first leadership workshop that I'm going to do on effective conversations. That link, if you click on the check availability button on that page, it'll bring you to a calendar, and the one a week from today will be at 8 a.m. MDT, 2 p.m. UTC, and then I'm going to do it every month. The one on May 4th will be at 2 p.m. MDT/8 p.m. UTC.
Sweet. 8 a.m. is a little early for me, but you know what? It's worth it. I know how
Well,
awesome workshops are. So
that's why you can do the one on May 4th instead. I mean, you'll have to wait a month, it's true, but there were more people who wanted the earlier time frame, so I'm doing that one first.
cool. Can you do both, or are they going to be the same curriculum?
It's going to be the same. It's going to be the same curriculum. You're welcome. You're certainly welcome to come more than once, because with different people, it's very interactive, right? It's not just me like teaching things. You've been to my workshops, Willie. You know how they are. So with different people, it'll change. So you're certainly welcome to sign up for more than one, but it will be the same curriculum.
Awesome. Thank you so much for moving forward with this, Josh. This was a question from last week's lunch. And the question was more broad, just around, are there any plans for like leadership training and stuff? And I can't think of a better person to give leadership training to the DAO. So thank you. Not everyone might know why you are such a good coach for this. Do you mind giving like a little bit of a background?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Yeah. So, so I've been working. I've been an engineer, a professional engineer since the early 90s. Yes, I graduated from college with a physics degree in the early 90s and went straight into engineering. And somewhere in like the early 2000s, my curiosity about how people work started to be greater than my curiosity about how technology worked. So much so that when I went to get a master's degree, I got a master's in organizational leadership. And about the time that I started that master's program, I also met a guy who I've learned a lot from. I studied with him for 20 years, and he is an expert in this particular modality of psychology, humanistic psychology, that was founded by a woman named Virginia Satir. She's no longer alive, but she was taught a lot about basically using like that everyone's inherent nature is to grow and to evolve, and that when someone is having a hard time or challenged in any kind of way, it's just because there is some obstacle to their growth. It's not that there is, bad intentions, or that some people. It's just everyone's nature is to go forward, and she developed a whole set of ways to work with people with that as really the underlying premise. So it's that's humanistic psychology, right? It's a very human approach to psychology. So you combine and then I started leading engineering teams at about that time. So if you just combine all the organizational experience, the analytical engineering, and then all the people trainings that I've done. I've conducted workshops around the US. I've gone to Thailand and conducted workshops. I've been in the former Soviet Republic and done workshops as well. So yeah, I'm just excited to start offering these to the DAO every month. And happy to answer any questions about it too.
Are these workshops on the calendar already?
If you go to the announcements channel, they're not on the community calendar. I guess we could put them there, and then GK, maybe we could put them there and then put this link that I just posted in the announcements into the calendar, because of the way I conduct the training, they need to be over Zoom, because we do breakout rooms, and then I use a mural board for collaboration. So the trainings, it's all set up integrated with Zoom. If you go to that link, click on the check availability button, and sign up for the workshops, you'll get an email with all the info that you need. So we could put them on the calendar, but it needs to be clear that you need to proactively sign up for them so that you get the connection information.
Janking, can we do that in a way where it's like on the calendar, but it's clear in the description that they need to sign up?
I believe so. Yeah, I could just copy that entire message, it looked like.
Sweet.
Yeah, and
I
you'll want to.
ping everybody a week before. You know, hey, please sign up and come to this.
I can do that. I can do that. So it's a week before the one coming up next week on Wednesday. So
Hi.
sign up.
Josh, do you want these to be
Good
recorded,
reminder.
or would you prefer that they aren't recorded for any reason?
I'm totally fine to record them. I mean, it's my Zoom account, so I can record them, and if whoever attends, if you want to remind me, but we'll check with the group. But yeah, that's fine with me.
Sweet. I want to try something. So I want to see maybe everybody who is on the call who's planning on attending one of these sessions. Instead of going one by one, maybe we can in 10 seconds unmute, and then we'll all say Fox yeah if we're planning on attending one of these sessions. Let's give that a try. So I'm gonna count down from 5. Everyone get your unmute button ready. And then if you're planning on attending one of Josh's sessions, say Fox yeah on the count of 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fox yeah.
Fox,
Fox,
yeah.
yeah.
Fox yeah, that was pretty cool. Sweet.
Yeah, that was good.
All right, looking forward to it.
And this is interesting. There's not many bots in this call.
I think Hunt was saying, so something we talked about on the leadership call this morning. And I think Hunt was saying that he has a feeling that they might follow him around. So like if he joined the call, maybe a bunch of bots would call. It's an interesting hypothesis. So.
I guess bots need breaks too.
They also follow DeFi. They also, they basically, they'll start appearing.
I wonder why they're not following me yet. What the heck?
Usually I notice when the event thing pops up, they start jumping in, but who knows? Kind of random.
Yeah. We didn't do an at everyone tag too. Maybe that has something to do with it. So if there's no other topics, which I'll pause for a second if anyone's got a question or topic. Cool. One thing that we were just talking about on the leadership call today is bringing back monthly All Fox meetings. So this is something that we used to do at ShapeShift every month. Every team member would tune in, and every department or a representative from each department would give an update. And we talk about, it was like at the All Fox that Eric and John told the whole company, hey, we're going full DAO, guys. That's where we have, big announcements and stuff. I think these are awesome for a couple reasons. One is that it's great just internally for every work stream and every community member to get a bird's eye view of what's happening across the org. We do the DAO off sprint every week, but not everybody attends that. And, it's pretty quick updates. So I think it'll be great for that reason, just internally. I think it'll be great for us to do for the broader community. We don't really have like just a weekly community call or a monthly community call. We got the governance call and the off sprint and stuff, but this I think will be, we can make it pretty high quality and hopefully, broadcast it and hopefully get some exposure, get people on Twitter and stuff who aren't necessarily active community members to follow along. Maybe we send it out to our full email list once we get access to that. And I also think it might help us just get more into the rhythm of tracking and reporting on metrics. Right now, that is one thing that is in progress and stuff, but we could certainly do better at tracking important KPIs and stuff to have a better understanding of how the DAO is doing. So we talked about this at leadership, and we are planning Tyler's going to be coordinating getting the first All Fox scheduled for, I think, April 20th. 20th is the day that we're looking at. So any thoughts on this All Fox or any questions about what that might look like?
Yay.
John likes All Foxes.
I think it's a great idea. It's something that I was thinking about recently of like you say, the ops sprint is great, the governance call is great, but we don't have something where we can kind of get that one hit of a broader view of what's happening. So I'm excited.
Exactly. Thanks, Smith.
I also love the date that you picked.
Thank you. I just turned my camera on accident. Hey, everybody. Yeah, it's the perfect date, right? Cool. So yeah, hopefully this will become a monthly thing, and I'm really looking forward to them. So yeah, work stream leaders, get prepared. We're going to put together like a slide template and stuff, and Tyler has a pretty good tried and true process for organizing these. So stay tuned for instructions. All right. I can keep pulling up random topics if no one's got questions or topics. Cool. One that's on the top of my mind, because I just read this, I just saw this cool proposal this morning, is around this documentary, ShapeShift documentary film production. I don't know if you guys have seen this yet. It was just posted in the forum 5 days ago. But there's a very interesting proposal from some community members to create a documentary about ShapeShift, ShapeShift DAO, Fox, and kind of just DAOs in general. And the idea, we're initially requesting $465,000, so no small budget, but the idea is that this could actually return revenues and profits. So some portion of the profits generated from it would go back to the DAO. And of course, the big benefit is just the potential to educate millions on ShapeShift, Fox, and this whole really fascinating concept of DAOs. We'd love to hear everyone's thoughts on it. My initial reaction was that this is really cool. I know we've talked about how what we're doing is a really interesting story. It's history in the making, and it deserves to be told. But I know there was some pushback about the size of the budget and stuff, and the uncertainty around whether or not it would actually return a profit. I thought it'd be cool. My suggestion was maybe we find a couple other DAOs that would be interested in partnering on this, because that could even be a more compelling documentary than if it's just about ShapeShift. And then, if we can get some other DAOs to share the cost, then we could get the cost, let's say we do it with 2 other DAOs, it could only cost $155,000. And then I think it could even be a more compelling story. What do you guys think about this whole documentary concept and whether or not it's worth exploring?
I like your solution to the problem with the cost. So yeah, I would definitely support it if we could pay like a percent of what they're asking just specifically us for, I guess. But we could do some networking with DAOs that we're already familiar with and go from there.
What fundamentally is the return on this? Is it just the exposure side of it?
So there is also a revenue component. So their past movies that they've done, they've gotten distribution deals for all of them. So it seems like they have a really good understanding of what it takes to sell and monetize a movie, and I like their transparency around it. So they would pursue a mixture of like film festivals, film markets, and even just direct distribution. And the goal would be to get it like on streaming services, maybe even in a movie theater or a couple movie theaters, like for a week or so for launch. And then there's always just like YouTube as an option just to get global distribution. But first exploring to see like can we sell this and actually turn a profit. So that's certainly like that's certainly one of the goals. But I do think kind of the primary intention for this is really just to spread the word around ShapeShift. Ideally, like this goes on Netflix basically, and we get a lot of eyes, and especially as the DAOs become more mainstream, hopefully this just becomes recognized as like the DAO that depicts kind of this turning point in history, the evolution of DAOs, and helps educate people on what DAOs and blockchains are capable of. And then hopefully, if it gets a lot of eyeballs and stuff, that can be really good for the DAO and for Fox. But a lot of uncertainty there for sure.
Yeah, I think it's a cool idea. I liked the post. Just the cost is the main thing. I don't think it makes sense in the short term for the DAO to be spending nearly $500,000 on such a production. I think if we could find a better way to do that, such as your suggestion, Willie, maybe sharing the cost with some other DAOs, maybe that would make more sense. But while I would like to see this exist, I can't in my mind justify that kind of cost to the treasury at this point.
Yeah, well, hello. Here in South America, I was talking to the Latin guys, and we were having this idea about content creation, and it was also because like in Latin America, not many people understand the concept of a DAO still. So we thought about like interviewing people from the DAO to start a kind of the same idea, you know. But yeah, it's then coming from within the community, and that could also work. But yeah, it would be a way easier idea. So I like the idea of a big production, but yeah, the cost is it's quite high, but sounds very interesting.
Cool. Cool to hear thoughts. I think yeah, I agree with all the thoughts. It's an expensive endeavor for sure. We always got to think about the opportunity cost. What else could we do with that funding? But yeah, I am curious if we could get some other cool DAOs. I was thinking like Gitcoin could be a cool one because they're also in Colorado. Kevin's really cool, has a lot of great, strong opinions on DAOs and stuff, and is a good articulate spokesperson. And they're in Colorado, so we could maybe bring people out here to film. I mostly just want to see this documentary, right?
And
you guys go ahead.
You know what else would be cool, but well, now that I'm saying it, maybe it's a little too heady or for some people, but I mean the whole story, just with the people we have relationships with it, Ichi, Olympus, like Tokamak, if they were interested in being part of the DAO, it could even have a little component of DAOs and the needing liquidity and needing a price and how we fund our operations in this new model versus going out and getting venture capital funds and selling equity. If they can wrap some of that into the cultural components, then those could be some possible good partners in it too.
100%. Yeah. And the Gitcoin one too, the fact that we're putting all these bounties on there to get development work and stuff is a super interesting overlap as well.
Yeah. So it could be like a hub and where ShapeShiftDAO is kind of like the hub of the documentary, right? We have this product and whatever, all the things that we're doing, and then all these other DAOs come in as they come into the story of ShapeShiftDAO's evolution. Yeah, that could be fun. And then, of course, there's these other DAOs have complete segments where they dive into their culture a little bit and do interviews, and then it kind of wraps back into the ShapeShiftDAO evolution, and then we created our own branded stablecoin and an Angel Vault, after blah 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 blah. So.
I love it, Josh. I think if coaching doesn't work out for any reason, I think I got a career in documentary directing.
Storyboarding, all right.
But like the other deals, I don't know. I haven't seen the post. Is it in our discussion forum that this showed up, or where is this?
Yeah, it's in the forum, just in the incubation stage. I posted a link in stage chat if you want to check it out and chime in.
So there's a lot of things that show up. Was there a discussion about it in Discord?
It has not touched Discord as far as I know, because I stumbled across it in the forum.
So that's interesting. I've heard there's a couple things now that have gone that I've first heard about, and they've been in the forum. It's fine, but just to making a mental note, because my point is we should look at previous work that they've done, because bad documentaries really kind of suck, and a good documentary can be really engaging, but bad ones are
bad documentaries really lame. Yeah. It seems like they have some pretty good experience. I was looking at like one of the last ones they did, and it had Steve Aoki as one of the stars. So you can see they linked to their portfolio, and it does look like they've done some relatively low budget. I think they were targeting like around $3 million total budget for this, but that have been able to produce quality documentaries that are good, high definition, not blurry, high sound quality. They have the music effects and everything like that, and tell a good story.
And I don't know how long they're thinking about doing one, but perhaps it'd be better to start with like a 20 30-minute rather than a full length, people would be more likely to view it. It would cost less and stuff
That's
like
what
that.
HBN was suggesting too. Yeah, those are all good feedback to share with them. See what they think about it.
It's in the stage chat.
Think about that Kanye documentary, you guys. He knew he was gonna blow up, so he started filming before, and now we all get to watch the history in the making.
Do you think the producers would be open to do an AMA to field all these questions like this?
Definitely.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
about to say.
I think it's a great idea. Great machine. And they've been, it's pretty cool. If you read the post, they're big Fox holders and liquidity providers and big fans of the DAO. And so they saw this as a great way that they could help support it. But I think, I would love the idea of getting an AMA scheduled with them.
Yeah, it would just be really good to like keep in mind like how niche this is, like in terms of cost and like how much we end up spending. Like the more partners we can get in this, like the better, for sure. I hate to be like the negative Nancy on it, but
Totally. But there is, at the end of the day, there is also a crypto community, right? The crypto community is getting stronger. There's millions of crypto people around the world that are at least interested in this topic, and there's just not good content around DAOs out there. And I don't know if I told you guys, but I just had this experience in ETH Austin where it was also the same time as South by Southwest. So I'm talking to people who are deep in the Web2 startup tech world, and they had I couldn't believe it. They hadn't heard of DAOs yet, and it was just a completely new concept to them. But as soon as they heard about it, it makes sense. And they're like, what? This is amazing. This is how work should be. This is how organizations should be structured. You're saying you guys have engineering stand-ups in public every day and anyone can just join in and hear about issues and contribute? Like, it blows their minds. So I do think that the DAOs are a really fascinating topic. And that, there's opportunity to tell the story about them and create good content around it and highlight ShapeShift as a pioneering org. Pioneering this movement.
Hey, do you think that Coin Center would be interested in being a part of it? They're pitching themselves more as education than a lobbying group. I mean, what could be more educational than an awesome documentary about DAOs?
Yeah, I love that idea. I think it's a great idea.
We have to remember also that it will come out in like 1 year. Like what is written there is that it's going to be ready in 1 year. So we have to remember that its space also evolves quite fast. So whatever that appears on it, it has to be relevant in 1 year from whenever it's filmed, which is very possible, but has to be kept in mind.
Yeah, great point. We should be if we do this, we should be very careful not to commit to anything, just to recognize that this is how things are now, but it's almost guaranteed that things are going to be changing because we're so early.
And there's another argument to do a 20-minute thing that can not only be done cheaper but more quickly. Because actually a really good point. Like waiting a year, things would be different.
Yeah, it'd be cool to do check. You know, like with the Kanye documentary, it shows like from the very beginning and then kind of the whole story of him becoming famous and stuff. And I imagine we'll have a similar story, right? It'll be cool. There'll be so much. If we were to do check-ins every 2 months, we'd have so much updates every 2 months. I think it'd be an interesting story to watch.
Be a cool series for sure. I agree. It's a cool idea.
Did you guys ever see the Banking on Bitcoin documentary on Netflix?
I think I did, but
I think so.
Pretty old, isn't it?
It's pretty old. I think it might even be pre-Ethereum, at least filmed pre-Ethereum. But Eric's in there. We might even have some other shapeshifters in there as well.
There's that one, and there's also the rise and rise of Bitcoin, right? Is that the other one? Isn't the rise and rise? Isn't that the first one? I think.
I need to go watch that one. I think. But yeah, definitely recommend checking those out on Netflix if you haven't already.
Both of those are pretty good. ShapeShift and Eric are in both of them.
Yeah, he's in both.
That's awesome. Cool. All right. Open it up for other topics or questions. You guys ready for Foxy?
Yes.
I'm so ready.
So
Hey,
I'm still not completely clear on what the difference is between Foxy versus just staking my Fox normally on Tokamak.
oh,
What's the edge there?
that's a great question, Seth. Let's answer it. So there's a handful of differences, right? First and foremost, Foxy is a rebasing token. So when you stake your Fox in the Tokamak reactor, you get TFox and you earn toke rewards, but your TFox balance never changes. One of the cool things about Foxy is that it is a rebasing token. So you will see your balance just go up in your wallet without any effort. And that's kind of cool. It gives people that fun number go up, psychological benefit, and it's cool to see your balance just increase. The other noteworthy difference is that you're not going to be earning toke, you'll actually be earning Fox. So the toke that is earned by all of the Fox staked in Foxy generates toke rewards for the DAO, and the TMDC can choose to sell any or all of that toke for Fox, which is pretty cool. We're going to be putting buy pressure on Fox, buying Fox in the open market, and using that Fox to reward stakers. And then the biggest important difference is that this is going to be the main way that the DAO, whenever the DAO wants to share a portion of the revenues that it generates with Fox holders, this is the avenue we're going to do it. It's going to happen through Foxy. So in addition to the rewards that come from Tokamak and in the future potentially other DeFi strategies for Fox, the DAO can also take a portion of the revenues that it's earning and reward that to Fox stakers. And because of that, Foxy is going to be the best way to generate yield on your Fox, right? You're going to get in the Tokamak yield plus profits generated by the DAO, and you get the benefit of compounding. That is one other thing I didn't mention, that right now, if you're staking in the Tokamak reactor, you could claim your toke every week and then sell that for Fox and then deposit more Fox into the reactor to get the benefit of compounding. One of the big wonders of the world or something. Compounding is powerful, and but doing that would obviously cost a lot of gas costs. So when we do it with Foxy, we batch those transactions. The user doesn't have to pay the gas costs, and the gas cost is spread across all of the depositors. So you get the benefit of compounding without the expensive gas costs or effort of compounding. Those are the main differences of Foxy. Yeah.
Are there plans to, so when we get layer 2 support, will Foxy also be moving to other chains, or?
Foxy can move to other chains even before we get layer 2 support, but definitely makes even more sense since we do have layer 2 support. So just like Fox has moved to other chains, I definitely expect Foxy to move to other chains. However, it is for this initial version, you will, in order to mint Foxy, that will have to happen on mainnet. All of the Fox that's staked in Foxy is going to live on mainnet and be staked in the token reactor on mainnet. But once you have Foxy, or once anyone has Foxy, they can absolutely bridge it to other networks and provide liquidity on dexes on other networks. And eventually, if this goes well, what we might see is the circulating supply of Foxy exceeding the circulating supply of Fox, because a lot of the Fox will just be locked up to mint Foxy, and Foxy will just be a better form of Fox, right? It'll be able to do all the things that Fox can do. You'll be able to vote with it. You'll be able to borrow against it, earn yield on it on top of your yield, use it in DeFi. Plus, so I do imagine, if things go according to plan, that Foxy will just kind of replace Fox as the ideal way to hold Fox tokens and have exposure to Fox.
I think that circulating supply replacement can only happen if the Fox in the Foxy contract is considered out of circulating supply. But in that case, it could definitely happen.
Exactly. Does that answer your question, Seth?
Yeah, sounds like I'm going to be buying some more Fox soon.
Hey, I've got another question about that too. The feature that's being built, you're going to be able to stake your Fox into Foxy on V2, and that will work with a keep key and also with a ledger through MetaMask from day one. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't see any reason why this wouldn't work on Ledger. You just have to obviously have like the blind contract signing enabled, which you need to be able to do any smart contract interactions on Ledger.
Yep.
I've staked in testing on MetaMask, Josh. So yeah, it should work on MetaMask with no problems.
Cool. And then
does it work
with
on keep key though? That's actually
it'll work with a keep key.
Yeah, that would have taken extra work, and I'm not sure if that's been done or not.
I staked on keep key and staked. I know that a couple of the engineers were focusing exclusively on keep keys, so it did stake to the address. It did need the approval to touch on the keep key hardware device to go through the process and stuff. So it did work. The UI
Yeah,
UX.
Okay, that's awesome.
That means it works. Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's great.
I mean,
That means I
I've
didn't
been
realize that we were going to have that support day one. That's super awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I've been testing and locally. I haven't been testing, exclusively like on, a production mode other than locally on my machine. So the UI UX has still got a little work to go, but yeah, it's definitely making major progress.
Hell yeah.
That's great.
That's awesome. Thanks for the question. Thanks for the update, Neverboys. Speaking of Keep Key, you guys going to this Keep Key work stream AMA this afternoon? You guys familiar with the proposal in the forum for a Keep Key work stream?
Yeah, I'm bullish on this. It's like a super like major part of the brand. Like to me, as like a long-term like ShapeShift user, I assume that there's probably like a demographic, maybe a large one, that feels the same way. People that have been in crypto since like forever, using ShapeShift forever. Even the people that are like so stuck in their ways that they even KYC'd, like to keep using like ShapeShift. So I think it's like really important to consider the implications of breaking up that brand for some people that might have larger holdings. I don't want to like
I think
push anybody away.
I think you bring up a really interesting point that hasn't been discussed too much in the forum thread, which is around just the broader narrative of ShapeShift, right? And something that it's easy to forget because at the end of the day, we need to build a sustainable product, absolutely, and that's why we're here. But when you look around at all these other projects and their valuations and stuff, it does not match the fundamentals often. A big part of why people get excited about tokens is the narrative, right? And I do think that Keep Key is a big part of our narrative, and that ShapeShift is stronger. And I think this relationship could make it even stronger, right? If being able to say, hey, 50% of the revenues of Keep Key purchases over the next 6 months are going to the ShapeShift DAO, right? I think it's compelling, and I think that is one thing that just hasn't been necessarily factored into everyone's equation when they're considering this opportunity. But I think that alone, I think, can justify that 150K investment. I think it's very valuable to our narrative to have this strong relationship with Keep Key, and like you were saying, Hunt, I think it can also be really detrimental to lose that. So aside from all the other benefits, I think the benefit to our narrative, because it is a strong narrative, it's a strong strategy and vision, is worthwhile alone. Any other thoughts on that? I know we got this whole AMA this afternoon, so we can save it for there. But yeah, anyone want to ask a question about the Keep Key work stream or comment on this before we move on?
Yeah, I would just recommend that anyone read through there's already a really good discussion with some really good back and forth and questions in the forum. Definitely read that ahead of the AMA if you can. But then, yeah, I'm curious to see what happens in the AMA. And I generally think it's worth the experiment on our side to go forward with some version of this. But how exactly we form that and the structure and making sure the DAO community is happy with that initial structure is really important.
Agreed. I am very curious how we can structure it better. I do think one thing that could be addressed better is like the long-term relationship between ShapeShift and Keep Key. It's something that I'm ideally the relationship is there because it's just always a win-win, right? But right now, I don't think there is any kind of guarantee that after we make this investment that the partnership will continue. Keep Key one, for example, just like fork the open source ShapeShift repo and put that in their own Keep Key client and start pushing everyone there instead. So I do wonder, that might be one question that we bring up on the AMA this afternoon is there a way to make this a more of a long-term partnership or have more guarantees there that this will last? Cool. All right, open it up for questions or topics that people would like to discuss.
Hey guys, I noticed this week that I wasn't the only one with a challenge with the success token to understand what it is. I think after 4 people, different people explain me, I finally understood. And I'm having some calls with the Latin American sector also in other DAOs as well. And I realized that maybe it would be a cool idea to have like a general financial kind of learning place, or like a way to create general like basic financial, or not so basic but also advanced financial like learning, so people can understand and learn more about finance. I see that now there's new in Discord the crypto 101, and that is very cool, and maybe we could create some content around financial things that more people can understand, coming from different walks of life. That would be a cool suggestion in my opinion.
Thanks, Montega. Yeah, what do you guys think about that idea? Education workstream, is that something on your roadmap? We do have a lot of informational content on ShapeShift. We used to produce a lot of this, just like informational stuff. And probably maybe even some of it is just, we could even just tweet some of this stuff out in the meantime, or at least just make it more accessible. Yeah, and I think HPain is working on stuff like this. I know he's got a really good roadmap for content, right? We can only produce so much content, so figuring out what's the most valuable content we can produce, and things like, especially as we add new types of DeFi features to our app, I think it makes a lot of sense to also include education on that, right? So single asset staking, you guys just did a great article on like what is Yearn basically, and what is single asset staking, and I thought that was really good, and I like the way HPain's thinking about it. I think you'd like it too, Montega. HPain, maybe you want to share a little bit about, you want to do a quick screen share and show us this kind of content roadmap that you've laid out?
Yeah, it would also be good. I think one of the things that like Montega is looking forward to is like some sort of instruction on some of these like marketing bounties that are in place right now. Don't necessarily have a ton of instruction. It'd be really good to like explain some of these things for some of these people that like are filling bounties and like creating content like successfully that everybody likes for sure. They just need like a little like onboarding in terms of like our products and stuff. So that's definitely like some documentation that I'm working on. But yeah, definitely could get a lot better. But yeah, I'm gonna work on that for sure.
And we don't have to do this all ourselves, right? There's a lot of great content out there on a lot of these subjects that is free and what we can point to, and they'd probably really appreciate it if we pointed to their content. So I do think it's good to make this stuff available to our community, but I also don't think we need to reinvent the wheel and create explainers and stuff if there's already really good content out there, which I think for a lot of these topics there is.
Hey everyone. So HPain is has been working on lobby.so, which is kind of like a Wikipedia for DAOs. So that should be we should share that soon, as soon as it's live. But we have uploaded quite a few documents on there, and we're just organizing it right now just to make sure it's all accessible and easy to read. And yeah, that should be really good once it's fleshed out.
Can we just do that, Arena? Go ahead.
We have a call like tomorrow with Wilson. We should be finalizing that for sure. I think we just set that up today. So yeah, I'll update everybody on that for sure.
Yeah, Lobbyso is really cool. I don't know if you guys have checked it out, but we have the opportunity to put a bunch of our own documentation up there, but we can also it's like Wikipedia, right? So we can create content for just wallets, for instance, and then link to the ShapeShift wallet and the KeepKey hardware wallet. Create articles on DEX aggregators or earning yield and plug ShapeShift. I think it's a pretty cool opportunity.
Yeah, honestly, I need a download, further download than I already have for sure from Wilson tomorrow. But it should be good to like just greenlight everything they have going on and just like go live as soon as we can with everything. But yeah, it'll be pretty cool. Props to HPain for carrying that, by the way. Definitely appreciate you.
Ooh, I've got a cool topic. I'm going to post a link to this cool tool that reached out to us, MetaMouse. Hunt and I are going to be chatting with them soon. They claim to be the first step to be able to, the first way to be able to pay bills with crypto, from rent to airline tickets. And so this is something that's pretty cool because, as many of you know, DAOs cannot pay bills in fiat. It's one of the few things that centralized organizations can do that DAOs can't yet do. And this tool, MetaMouse, claims to be able to solve that. So we're going to talk to them, and not clear what stage they're at yet, or whether or not this will be something that we can use, but we're going to explore it, and if things go well, this could be a solution to enable the DAO to be able to pay bills in fiat without having a bank account using crypto from the treasury.
Dude, those claimed features are really, really cool. It's like they're like digital card features, and like they have all sorts of cool features. Definitely stoked on that call.
Totally.
I'd really like to be a part of that.
Cool, Seth. We'll add you to the invite for sure. We're waiting for them to pick a time.
We should consider having them go on bankless as well, because that sounds very revolutionary.
Yeah, we don't want to scare them yet. I think we still need to get it. We need to get a time out of them. But yeah, we'll add you to the call for sure. It'll be a cool call. Some of the claim features are honestly sort of hard to believe, so I hope that their product is ready to go. I think that's what Willie was implying. But it looks really badass, if true. So I'm definitely interested to check it out.
Agreed. And yeah, it could be a big deal if they can do what they say they can do. Could be worth VFox considering investing. Looks like they got a token on the roadmap. But yeah, let's talk to them and figure that out before we get them on bankless.
Yeah, I have to know if it lives up to the hype.
Let's get ShapeShift on bankless, by the way. We should absolutely be on there. I posted that. That was one thing related to the Keep Key work stream. I think one cool thing we could do with Keep Keys would be partnering with or giving discounts to people who can prove that they have some sort of token balance, basically. So instead of just giving new discounts to everybody, saying like, oh, sign a message and show that you have at least 100 Fox or 10 Rune or 100 Bank, and then do that with Bank if they'd be willing to then promote us to their community and maybe on their podcast and stuff, say, hey, listeners, because they're obviously interested in getting people to hold Bank. So could be a cool way to keep plugged on Bankless. Yeah. Are you close with the Bankless community, Seth?
I'm in their Discord, but I haven't done anything there, unfortunately.
The Smith is Smith and Vlad are, but I've been trying to get Lindsay to get you on Bankless, but hopefully that would be like an easy plug. You could just go and show us. Better than
I would love to go on Bankless. That'd be a dream come true. I've kicked it with David at a few conferences, so he knows who I am.
I'm trying, dude. I really want to like try to get you on there, like to continue, get you or like John on there, both or whatever, to continue that interview that Eric did months ago. I think it would be like doing an update or two to follow up on that interview would be really cool.
Yeah, we're due for a check-in, especially with Foxy coming out. I think it's a good time to get out there, do a roadshow.
Yeah, agreed. I think Willie and I are always willing to do those things when they're available.
Definitely. Also, plug for growth. Amicus, is it? Oh my gosh, Rotorless. Amicus.eth. He's pretty close to the Bankless community, and he said that there's actually a really good opportunity to get really cheap sponsorship on not the main Bankless podcast, but the Bankless DAO content that they put out there. So something for growth and marketing to explore. He was saying it's really, really good return for the amount, the cost, and the amount of exposure you get to crypto people. So,
yeah, I think the Smith sent me the Smith sent me like a PDF a while ago. I believe we should definitely explore that. It was a little too early when the Smith showed me. Might have been like 4 or 5 months ago, honestly. But yeah, I definitely want to check that out.
Sick. Yeah, I think it's a good time now that we got all these app.shapeshift.com's in a good place and we got some revenue streams. It's a good time to start driving some eyeballs. Hey, Hunt, I know you guys. You've been talking with Steve, right? Did you chat with Steve from Top Drawer Merch past couple days? And if so, any updates to share on merch stuff?
Yeah, yesterday, I had a conversation with him that was pretty short. But yeah, I think honestly, I guess it would be good for me to tell the community, starting here, that I'm going to tack on an invoice from Top Drawer onto the growth and marketing like work stream proposal coming up to see if I can add it in there if the community's down. I think that we should probably move forward with this first release since we didn't have an email list and really do like a solid and significant product launch, like treat it like any other product. We could make significant money from this if we do like an email blast and we do like a solid PR. We have Lindsay talk to like Cointelegraph or something, and just get locked in with like a solid release, and do like a new line possibly and keep this as like the evergreen line. You know, we could still run these like initial shirts and whatever, but it'd be really good to like shoot Steve a bunch of like designs. I think we have like 13 or 14 that we've had like various people make. We have some from like Jam, Hoff, and like other people. So moving forward and like trying to get that right, because the first launch was a little bit wonky and relatively botched, and I was involved with that too, so I'll definitely accept some sort of responsibility for that, and just like move forward and do it right. I think we're definitely capable of doing so. So yeah, that's the update for now.
Awesome, thanks, Hunt. Yeah, excited to see the next line of swag. I know though a lot of community members felt that it was boring, the first line that was released, and I take some responsibility for that too. We had the chance to review it and stuff, and I know it was approved by a few multiple stakeholders in the DAO, and it was backed by some data that they have that those basic lines tend to sell well. But I think we were all hoping for. I know I was hoping for something a little bit more colorful, creative. So hopefully we can get that with this next line, and then promote the merch store a little bit. And one thing that's really going to help promote the merch store is our email list. We have this massive list of everyone who's ever signed up for ShapeShift, every email we've collected over the 7 years as a centralized organization. It's over 700,000 email addresses, which is a really strong targeted email list. We have not yet had access to that because the foundation is going to be the custodian of it, and we have not yet been formed. But that should be solved in the coming weeks. We will have finally access to that email list, and I think even being able to market stuff like the merch store for that email list will help get a lot more eyeballs and hopefully a lot more sales and affiliate revenues for the DAO.
I think beyond like leaning on that list, because it is super important and it's definitely going to get us some sales, but like having like, if we do secure this initial inventory, we can do like giveaways and like we can do like a whole bunch of like awesome stuff like that and make it like a multifaceted like marketing approach rather than just like doing an email blast and like crossing our fingers and hoping we get like a good conversion rate. I think there's like we have the ability to do like more now, moving forward and like learning from the first launch. So I think it'll go pretty well. I'm confident.
Yeah, I love to hear that. I'm definitely not saying the email list is the only avenue. And yeah, I mean, I think we've done very little to promote the merch store so far. So I think we shouldn't be surprised that there's been low sales. But I agree. I think once we have some swag in there that we're proud of and stuff, we should promote this, shout it from the rooftops, and get many eyeballs on there as we can. We're not even linking to it from the ShapeShift.com yet, but I think we absolutely should be. And I love the idea of doing some giveaways. All right, we got 5 minutes. Time for one last question or topic. I see one in general that just got posted, asking if April 7th will be the final determination on Foxy. As far as I know, all systems are go. I think we're waiting for final thumbs up from NeverWas on testing. NeverWas, you want to give us any alpha? Have you stumbled across any blocking bugs for Foxy yet, or from what you've seen, are we on track for launch on the 7th?
Definitely on track. No blocking bugs as of yet. Still have to wait to kind of test the unstaking and the tokamak cycle to make sure the rewards come through with the rebasing. But that's just going to take time for, when we staked the other day and waiting until that cycle completes. But everything's looking good so far. Yeah, we're on track, Willie. I think that we're going to have a pretty seamless soft release on the 7th, and then we'll probably do some promotion and stuff after that. And once it's live for a little bit, we'll have a little bit more time to kind of see the cycles go through and make sure that the treasury the reserves are there for the instant staking the instant removal of the staking. And once we know all that stuff's there and set in place, the fees are established. If so determined and stuff, we'll be ready to go.
Awesome. Thanks for the update, Neverwiz. Super excited for upcoming Foxy launch. It's going to be dope. All right. We've got a few minutes left, but I see the daily mindful meditation is happening right now. So I think we can end a few minutes early and hop over and get some meditation. And if not, I'll see you guys this afternoon at the Keep Key workstream AMA.